Other way to learn English. Summarize of the blog. Through this course, we try to develop different activities for improving the competence we have. We treat subjects as how to make a broadcast of the role of the teacher in the classroom in today's context. We work with some framework rules of the European Union, trying to understand how to teach English today. Then we try to know how is developed the bilingualism in Colombia, because it's in that context where we're going to work. It is important to take in account that we, as a training teachers, must know what kind of rules or statements are currently used to teach a foreign language. That's why we saw some ways for teaching English. We tried to see how to make an authentic material using alternative tools to catch the attention of the students. We create games in broadcast and discussed about the relevance that has those kind of strategies in order to help the class to assimilate the contents of the language. I learned that using those strategies we can help also the students to be more extrovert at the hour to participate in groups or in activities that we propose for the classrooms. Otherwise, I understood that if we learn how to be creative, we can work in any context without problem, because we're able to manage the situation that we could find. Talking about broadcast, we dedicate some sessions to see how to do that type of material. And we create 2 broadcasts and 1 podcast for understanding how can we do that with the students. And with the podcast, we approached to the bilingualism in Colombia. We talk about how many foreign people live in Colombia, how many Colombian people speak another language, and how is considered the word of the deaf-mute people because they have their own way to communicate. Another activity we treat was the role of the teacher and of the student, because we need to make a difference between that to understand how they see the school. For doing that, the teacher Yvonne proposes some films, and then we made in groups an analysis of those roles we identified. And we could see some strategies to use or to take in account in some contests that present the school or the role of the teacher. That was interesting to reflect what would we do if we had that problem. Then we work with some proposal of Hernán Calvo with the book A Journey to 21st Century Education, where we chose an educational model where we identified some things that could help us to teach, and the other purpose was to know what kind of educational models have been developed and recognized around the world. I deep in the one called design thinking that treats about an approach structured in 5 phases for the generation and development of ideas, which may be very useful in looking for solutions in the classrooms. This methodology guides the student through some steps for finding a new way to discover other things and create other things. First, discovering as the way to understand the challenge he has, make some research, and look for inspiration. Second, interpreting as the way to tell stories, give them meaning, and look for opportunities. Creating ideas as the way to generate ideas to improve them. Experimenting as the way to make prototypes and share your discoveries and submit them to criticism. Finally, a proposed development as the way to learn from what has been done and advance to a new phase. Those steps are the reason why I chose that method, because it carries the student to explore the knowledge and to create more knowledge, which is important to make him her understand the world she has around and how to habit it. Thus, with each part of these activities, we as a group explore our competence and we feel encouraged to continue our process of learning how to teach in another way, taking in account the process of changing that is living the world and the people. So the way to teach has to be adapted to that context, specifically where we are. Other thing that propose the methodology developed in India mainly, not just to give content to the students, it is important the path we take to do that. So, we got an engagement at the end of this course. We learned we have to be more ready for interact with those worlds that are the students we are going to find in our job. We know now what we must to take the risk and try to understand the world that live deaf mute people, and we need to make an effort to learn how to include them at the hour to find one of them in the classroom. I think we also learn that this profession implies the real effort that we have to make the things in other way. The mood we presented to fancy the challenge we are going to find through the path, trying to understand not always it is going to be easy to find the correct form to make new things, to try out other way to show a new thing without remove the surprise it has to generate in the students. And you can find that with design learning, for example, because it implies to go more than there. Finally, to have compendium of these activities as an evidence of our achievements, I present you this website as a tool to know our job and as a tool to take ideas to work in class. It also can help you to research the material and make your class other experience for you and for your students, and you will find other face in your students, in your class, even inside of the school and inside of the society.